What happened to the real clapper? Who forgot it? Sophie, what sort of production is this?
3, 2, 1.
Wah, wah. Unbelievable. We have fun. We managed to have fun. You'll look brilliant and I won't.
And again, back to my lack of commitment. It's a recurring theme in my life. Cheers. This is gonna be your flop.
Well, we all love Lewis. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
I got a nasturtium.
Tropical. Noelle, I give you this because I'll stab myself in the eye otherwise, and that would not make for good content.
Yes, good point. Don't need awkward moments with a straw.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm Sarah Wetenhall, and yet again, this is my still untitled talk show. Joining me today is Lewis Miller.
Thank you. Good
Thanks
to be
for
here.
coming.
My home away from home.
Indeed, as it should be.
I love it.
I love it too. I too. Well, and I love your work. So, what do we call you? Is it
That's always up for debate.
floral? I mean, you're not a
No,
florist.
It's just
you're
like,
so
I
much
think
more
it's
than a
very
florist.
easy to get like caught up in the name. You know what? Call me floral and event designer.
Floral and event designer. Okay, floral and event designer, Lewis Miller.
Or if you just want to call me a florist, I'm
No,
not
I don't
gonna,
like florist.
I'm not gonna.
I feel like
find
it doesn't
offense.
appropriately address the scope of your talent.
Well, you're kind.
Not really. Honest. Not kind, honest. So, how long have you been doing this and how did you get into this gig?
I have been doing this professionally for 30 some years, but I kind of started at the ripe old age of 7 or 8, you know, like going out into the garden.
So you're
Just
12 like me,
cutting
basically.
stuff, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You have gathered some renown
Mm-hmm.
for your flower flashes, which started, I think, somewhat spontaneously during COVID. Can you give me the backstory?
No, it was actually before COVID.
It
It
was
was
before COVID.
2016.
It was. I didn't realize
yeah, it
that.
really was.
So tell me.
So it's funny because like my comfort zone is always being kind of safely under the radar. And then
Like right now with all these
Yeah,
cameras and lights
exactly.
around you. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
what happened is I put some flowers in a trash bin and then that all changed. It's funny. So the idea was I wanted to, like, it was 2014, 2015. I'm like, okay, business is going great, you know, but I need to find a way to like give back. But also like creatively, I was feeling a bit stifled because now that Pinterest and everything was here, it's like suddenly, you know, if you're like me, you were a magazine junkie. You couldn't wait to get HG or House and Garden or El Decor back in
I
the
would
good old
tear
days.
things out. I
and
would
you-
create binders
Exactly.
of
And
what
then
I was
suddenly
doing.
we're just like, we're inundated with 10 million images that are all thumbnails and they're all beautiful. So they all stop being beautiful. They all stop being like, nothing is special because everything is special.
Yep.
You know, and it was fun for me in the floral design world because I saw on social media how the Zygist went from domes to Flemish still lifes. I could literally watch this progression. But then it was like, well, I want to find a way to give back, but I'm also creatively want to do something where it just feels very different because I love contrast, like the light and the dark, the pretty and the rough, you know, all like those things together. So, and I also then like the idea, it was like 3 things of like having an outlet to do something that didn't necessarily make sense. Whereas, you know, producing beautiful events and everything fits in its nice box, but like just that felt a little bit more random and it was just kind of off the cuff. So that's when the Flower Flash was started. It did not have that name. It had no name.
Right.
And just randomly had a bunch of flowers come back after a midweek event. Guys were dragging in all these beautiful clear bags full of orange dahlia and carnation's head because we had made a flower wall, like flower wall, breathtaking, or like, you know, big deal. Like everybody's seen them, but like we had all these beautiful leftover flowers and they looked great. They looked great in the bags.
Right.
Like, well, let's do something with this. So the next morning got up at 5 o'clock, went to the Imagine Medallion in Central Park and did just the simplest, like there was no mechanics, there was nothing artsy about it. It was just a wide swath of flowers around it. It made
So
a
I've seen
very
that,
strong
and I didn't
visual.
know that was you. I've seen
Yeah.
that before.
That was the first one.
Fascinating.
So I ride my bike in New York. So we did that. I hopped on my bike, pedaled down to my studio in the East Village, and Arini had Instagrammed it. And I think in the time that I went from the Upper West Side to the East Village, it had gotten like 200 likes, which was like I think the most I got was like 40. And it was like, wow, this is insane. But it was also fun because it was fun for me because it didn't make any sense. It was spontaneous. You don't quite know if it's legal,
Right.
you know, and so it's a little shady. So we did them for a while. And then COVID hit. And I kept doing them. I was in my house upstate, but I drove down in the city, which honestly, if I can say this, was a lot of fun because the city was so empty. Driving through New York, it was literally like the Tom Cruise movie, Vanilla Sky. Yeah, and I could go from downtown to uptown in like 15 minutes,
Right.
and everything was beautiful because all the tulips were blooming, but there were no people to trample them down. So we kept doing them. We did them around hospitals. We actually tried to make sense of why we were doing them, and then of course, people caught on to it. They're stuck at home. They're on the computer. So they did more, like a lot of the prior ones started recirculating. So people thought we started them in COVID. But so yeah, that's the long, I mean, it was interesting. COVID kind of made me realize it at the time, like, wow, these really are bringing people joy. Cause I kind of do it. I'm like, this is probably a dumb idea. It's a weird gimmick. Like it's fun for me if people like it, but then I kind of check out and on to the next. And then it was like during that time, I mean, I was getting letters from like nurse practitioners saying like, you have helped my patients. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of serious stuff. Like if I have the responsibility to actually make somebody's day brighter, which technically I say that's what it's all about, then it's kind of no longer just a folly. It's kind of a responsibility. So.
Yeah. And it's a gift to the community, which I think.
Well, and that's the thing too. And they're fun because like they don't have to be, it's not about, creating a still life, because what I love about it, again, like the contrast, like so many back to like editorial shoots or stuff, like if you were doing shoots for Martha Stewart or House and Gardeners, like these were excruciating. You were moving flowers around with with the tweezers,
yeah, totally.
And then you were checking the Polaroids and, peeling them off and looking at them and moving it again. And this is the exact opposite. Like your average trash bin, which is like 12 feet tall, takes 25 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And it's just like, it's guttural and it's like, it's not perfect. It's just supposed to be joyous.
And what I like is so much of your work is private. It's private events. It's in people's homes. And this is for the masses.
This is for the masses.
And you're never going to know
Yeah.
where you find it.
Right.
I mean, we did one together in front of the hotel a couple months ago, and everyone kept on asking why. And we were like, well, because.
And that's it. Just
It's great. Because
Yeah.
to make you happy.
Like, yeah.
And I think that's a really beautiful piece of what you do.
Thank you. Of course.
Okay, I think Sophie has some trivia questions.
Oh.
My least favorite part, you'll look brilliant and I won't. So just buckle your
Playing
seatbelt.
Scrabble. I'm very good with words until I actually have to play a game.
Okay, do your worst.
You want an easy one or a hard one?
Just,
Okay,
it's all
let's
going to
warm
be
you up.
challenging.
Which designer is known for the famous wrap dress?
Oh, Diane von Furstenberg.
Okay, so
Thank you. Thanks for easing me in. That's what friends do to each other, right? Okay. Native to the Andes Mountains, what vegetable has the Latin name Solanum tuberosum?
oh, well, that's like the most obscure thing ever. Solanum tuberosum. It's not
I eat a lot of them.
potatoes.
Grew up on a dairy farm in Missouri, meat and potatoes, yes.
See, I don't like vegetables.
No, but they're not the same
It was
family.
decorative landscape. It wasn't agriculture.
When I asked if you spoke Latin, it was for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. In Hinduism, who is the god of destruction and transformation? It's a woman. Starts with an S. Has a V in it.
Really, there's zero chance that I'm getting this
Shiva.
question right.
Shiva,
Shiva,
yeah.
yeah.
Or Shiva. No, isn't Shiva something? Isn't that a
That's what
Jewish
you
thing?
sit if you're Jewish. You sit Shiva.
See, yeah.
So it must be Shiva.
Shiva. Okay.
Which bird, measuring only about 2.4 inches in length and found primarily in Cuba, holds the title of the world's smallest bird species?
Well, isn't that the hummingbird?
But there's a specific type of that hummingbird.
Repeat the question.
Which bird,
Yeah.
measuring only about 2.5 inches in length and found primarily in Cuba?
Yeah, the Cuban hummingbird.
It's the bee hummingbird. But yes, great job. I like it. I really like where you're going with that. I feel good about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's give that one to Lewis. Okay? Sophie.
What instrument is used to measure atmospheric pressure?
Barometer?
That is correct.
And what is the name of the protein found in wheat flour that gives bread its structure and elasticity?
Carbohydrates?
No.
Hold on.
Every woman on Palm Beach avoids this element,
Yeah, it's like
this protein.
glucose,
Oh,
right?
I'm
Yeah.
something free.
Right. I'm glucose. Like, yeah, what
not
is that?
glucose.
I'm-
Close, it's glue.
I know. It's gluten. Yeah, gluten intolerance. I love wheat.
So do I.
I could just eat
Yeah.
bread.
In the middle of the country, so we eat bread and potatoes and meat.
You give me all the carbs.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
carbs.
all of them.
It's all good.
So.
Bonus round?
Bonus round, yeah.
Bonus round. Well, while we're getting bonus round, I'll take this minute to remind you all that take note, some of these questions will indeed be in trivia.
When measuring up to 300 pounds, what is the largest bird in the world?
You think I've got this?
Yeah,
Really?
you do. It's very odd. You'll know it.
Bird?
Pull your head out of the sand and think about it.
Oh, it's a flamingo.
No! It has
What
big
is-
eggs.
what's
It's
the
a
one
big
that-
bird, so it
What's
has a
the
big
one that,
egg.
who sticks your head in the sand?
I mean,
when
they're
you're
so
trying to avoid
ugly.
something?
They literally look like a possum turned into a
It's
bird.
an ostrich,
Yes,
right?
thank you. I've given you so many.
I'm like, it's a flamingo. It's a Florida question. Yay! Woo. Dicey,
funny.
dicey.
These are stressful.
Every question making me look less intelligent and more blonde as we go. Thanks for that, team. We can clean it up with AI. Can you make me sound more intelligent with AI? Oh, I need to ask Lewis what we're naming this damn thing. We need a name for this yet unnamed beauty. Any suggestions?
I mean, I like really cheesy names. Like,
Bring it on.
Like, it's a sunny day with Sarah.
Ooh, I love an alliteration. Alliterations
Yeah,
make
a little
me happy.
bit of that. You know, we're Florida. You're sunny and bright. It should be fun and kind of cheeky.
Yeah, which we're fun. Aren't we fun and cheeky?
Yes, of course. Like, this is not serious business.
Thank you for joining. It's a sunny day with Sarah. At least that's what we're calling it today. Until next time. I'm mad at you, Mr. Anderson. I may not be joining you tonight after all for trivia.
I may not want you on.
You may not want me for trivia.